Welcome to the Grief Pod with Venetia Quick. This is a weekly podcast which looks at every aspect of something which has or will at some point affect us all. And that is grief. Whether you've lost a loved one or about to lose someone you know, or perhaps you're simply trying to help someone navigate their grief and don't know where to start or what to say, then perhaps this is the podcast for you. Each week I'll be bringing you different stories and experiences of loss, love, hope and at times humour. Purple House was founded in 1990 to help support those families for whom cancer has become part of their lives. It's a community-based cancer support centre and they help many with practical assistance as well as emotional support. Now, one person who started fundraising for Purple House was Louise Mulgrew, and you've now gone on to work for the organisation as well. And Louise joins me now. Louise, how did you come to Purple House?
So it would have been many years ago when Mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I suppose she was looking for support in her local area. We were living in Beirne at the time, and Purple House was in the community, and she went down and they just welcomed her in like a family, and they just kind of wrapped their arms around her and said everything's going to be okay.
Wow.
So it was amazing to have the free services and support there.
Because give me a little bit of background, because you've lost your mum.
Yeah.
Your dad.
Yeah.
And your sister.
Yeah.
Was that in a very short space of time?
So Dad was 11 years ago. I had just moved over to Toronto in Canada for a new life.
Okay.
And I was just fresh out of college. I got a job with Tourism Ireland and they said, we're sending you to Canada. It's all very exciting. And I was there about a month and got a phone call. Dad's been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer of the esophagus. So I was 24 at the time. And I think I was very naive. And I was like, sure, he'll be fine. It's Dad. He has to be fine. He had other hospital issues in the past. Like he had a triple bypass at one stage and he had a stroke. So to me, he was like Superman.
Yeah.
It's like
He's invincible.
Nothing can happen to my dad. And I remember my sister calling me being like, no, like stage 4 is pretty bad. But I didn't realize how bad.
Yeah.
At the
because
time.
It's very hard when you get told that.
Yes.
You immediately go, yeah, but it's so-and-so. They'll be grand. Like you can't actually imagine that person will not be okay.
Yes. Especially your own parent that raised you and, you know, they were Superman, you know. So he was diagnosed in December and then he passed in July. So it was very quick.
Okay.
And that whole time, I suppose I was still living in Toronto. I had come home to see him. He had done a small bit of chemo, but at that stage, it was just really, you know, how do we make him comfortable? And that was probably the first time I ever dealt with grief or death in my life.
And you were far from home.
Yes.
So you came back, obviously, and then did you go back to Canada?
Yeah, I remember coming home and seeing him in January and he was in hospital and he looked at me and he goes, don't come home here, there's nothing for you. And I was like, oh, Dad. And I think he just knew how excited I was to be over there. And it was the first time I had a new job or a career. Like I was starting out in my career. And it was around the time, you know, things weren't great here in Ireland for jobs. So it was all very exciting for me. And then he was probably like, oh, sorry about this.
Yeah.
But I got home to see him a few times. And then, yeah, towards the end, I got a phone call saying, you need to come back. And I was home about a month and then he passed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did get a tiny little bit of time.
I did, which was great because I have heard stories before of people getting a phone call saying, yeah, it's happened. And then I can't imagine them sitting on that plane on their own, what's going through their head. So at least I knew I was going to see him. and, you know, I might get a bit of time with him. And I did. And, you know, we had great chats and everything. And I still don't think I accepted what was going to happen though. At the time, I was like, I think in the back of my head, I kept thinking, he's going to be okay, he's going to be fine. But obviously he wasn't. So yeah.
So for your mum then,
Yeah.
to be diagnosed,
Yes.
you sort of, I mean, we've had this conversation with so many people on this podcast, is like when you sort of get to the second important person in your life,
Yeah.
you go, this isn't fair.
Yeah. So in the way, what had happened to me was Mom had a breast cancer diagnosis prior to Dad dying. So she had been through the chemo, the radio. We had seen all that, you know, loss of hair. And Mom will always say the second year was actually more difficult than the year of treatment itself. Because the second year, and this is something that Purple House work with cancer survivors on, is, you know, how to deal with your symptoms or post-treatment. You're a different person. You know, and people will kind of look at you and go, "Oh, well, you're okay now. You know, you're in remission. You got
Or
through
there's
that."
the other people who go, yeah, but you know, remission, but really, you know, there's both sides. I always find to
definitely
the diagnosis. So she was in remission when your dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think it was 2020, and we had moved back from Canada at this stage. We were back home. Sorry, 2019. She found a small lump on her arm, and it was like a kind of like a large mole. And we were like, I think you should go get that checked out. And it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So the cancer had come back. Again, she went through chemo, radio, in remission, all good. So this is her second bout of cancer. And then in 2022, there was a tumour in her brain, and that's what got her in the end. But I'm jumping around here. January 2022, my sister died.
Before your mother?
Yeah. Yeah. So she was my oldest sister. She was 54 at the time. And she called emergency services, said she felt like she couldn't breathe. When they got there, she had passed. So once they did some investigation, they found out it was a blood clot in her lung. But they also found a tumour in her colon.
That she didn't know about?
They had said, you know, there would have been signs. She definitely would have known there was something not right.
So she ignored?
But she never went to any doctors or got any, you know.
But you can understand, I mean, there is a fear always that you're going to, especially if it's in the family, you know, and you sort of, sometimes it's easier to ignore.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so 2022 was a very difficult year. So Debbie, my sister, passed January, and then Mom passed in December of that year. Yeah.
Wow. So you 3 back to back.
Yeah.
So you're sitting here today. Have you got to this point? I guess, how was the last couple of years? Must have been just really incredibly difficult.
Yeah, very, very difficult. I think shortly after Mom died was really, really painful, because I think maybe everything hit.
Yeah.
It was like they're all gone.
Yeah.
You know, that family got real small real quick.
Yeah. But there's also, you didn't have time to grieve for the other one.
Yes. Yeah.
So
And I suppose they're all very different, and probably from people that you speak to as well. No death is the same, or no grief process is the same. It's really difficult. And even, you know, the way I grieve my mom would not be the same way my sister might grieve her, because we'd have a different relationship. Even though we're all from the same family, and, you know, it's different. But shortly after Mom died was very difficult. Like, couldn't sleep. I felt like I was losing my mind. Every time I closed my eyes, I could just see her in the hospital bed. I'd be at home asleep with my husband, and I'd wake up and I'd think he was her, and I'd be trying to wake her. So like I think I was like traumatized.
But it is, I mean, the trauma of, and also,
Yeah.
maybe the shock as well from your sister because it was sudden.
Yes.
That's all sort of there bubbling.
Yeah. So that was really difficult. And I think I threw myself into work. I really just was like, I'm going to be fine. And similar to kind of what I did after Dad died, I was like, I'm going to be fine. It's all going to be fine. And I really suppressed it. But then it came back.
Yeah,
It
because
comes
it's
up.
unresolved.
Yeah.
And so the last while, what route have you gone on to try and
Survive.
help? I was supposed to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because for a lot of it, there's days I'm sure where you don't want to get up in the morning. Like for a lot of us, there are days where you just go, oh, can't do it today.
Yeah.
But you have to, and you have to get up and you have to keep going. What have you found sort of has helped with that?
So it's going to sound really cliche, but time has really helped. I was really not in a good place soon after Mom passed. I was very angry at the world. Like I remember being very angry at people and my friends being like, oh, you're a bit angry today.
Yeah, but that's, that's also the nervous system, reacting. But, and it's a stage of grief.
Yeah, very, very angry. I found counselling helped, just talking to someone. Just talking through it, because I suppose that validated my feelings. It validated, like I actually thought I was going crazy. But they were like, no, this is very normal to be feeling this way. And I suppose to have lost that many people in a short space of time, but also at a very young age, I felt like, what else can go wrong? What else is going to be thrown my way?
Because you do sort of get into that sort of, I don't know, zone, I guess, where you automatically think the worst.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing, you sort of get a headache and you sort of go, oh, it's a brain tumor. Do you know what I mean? Like you start to get this
catastrophe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And definitely it's very easy to get into that negative mindset of, oh, what else is going to happen to me? And then I also found I started to try and control things a lot, because I suppose with Mom, when she was in the hospital, I really felt like I was out of control. There was nothing I could do. And that really didn't sit well with me. And I noticed, I was like, I'm trying to control everything, because then I feel like if I'm in control, everything's going to be okay. But obviously you can't control everything.
I know, but it's actually very understandable.
Yeah.
It's sort of like micromanaging everything so that when you've had sort of 3 sets of really bad news, there isn't a fourth.
Yeah.
You became involved, you were saying your mum was actually the person who went to Purple House first. I guess the first thing is maybe to tell us a little bit about Purple House and what it does and how it got started.
So it was founded 35 years ago by Veronica O'Leary and Brendan O'Leary. They're a family local to Bray. And Veronica was diagnosed with cancer herself and found that there was no, I suppose, local support in the area. Apart from, you go into hospital, you talk to your doctors, you have the plan, that's it. There's nothing really else. So it was founded by the O'Leary family, and it's really grown over the years into, they have a beautiful centre down on the Queensborough Road in Bray. It's a free service. So whether you yourself are diagnosed with cancer, you have a family member going through it, or you're bereaved by it, you're very welcome to come in and talk to us. And we offer a wide range of services, from counselling, art therapy with the children. We have a men's shed that meets. We do yoga. There's a lovely program called Thrive and Survive, and that's for cancer survivors. That it's a 6-week program that they go through to learn how to manage their symptoms post-treatment. And we're looking all the time to see, how can we develop the programs on offer. So we just had a meeting there recently about, menopause is a huge topic at the moment, and something that female cancer survivors would have to deal with at a very young age. So different things like that. We try and provide food hampers. We provide transport to hospital. So really a wide range of services.
Yeah, so you're really taking the stress out of a very stressful situation, because it is those little things like, you know, if somebody's in hospital and you've kids, but you want to go and visit,
Mm-hmm.
who's going to mind the kids?
Yeah.
For like, and invariably you end up, you know, like obviously friends and neighbours help out, but it's also costly,
Yeah.
you know, or again, the picking up after maybe chemo when it has to be sort of all sort of quite sterile, etc. It's the little things.
Yeah, it's the things, I suppose, that, you know, the hospital's not going to go, oh, we'll do this for you as well. It's the day to day. It's the how do I manage my life now with all this going on.
Yeah. And just that sort of just that support,
Yeah.
really. Because there wasn't, as you were saying, there wasn't that support before. There wasn't that backup.
Mm-hmm.
And
It can be an extremely isolating.
it can be very lonely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we find with some of our clients that come in. They like to just come in and have a cup of tea and a chat with other people going through a similar situation, because then they don't feel so alone then.
Yeah. And also I think as well, perhaps if you're a younger person, then you can meet people, you know, who might be in a similar situation, and you can help each other.
Yeah.
Because that's what I guess a lot of people look for, is somebody in their situation that they identifies with what they're going through. So you feel they really understand.
Yeah. It's part of human nature, really. Like, we want to just belong, and we want to see people that go through similar things that we do.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. You look a lot after kids and sort of maybe younger members of the family, both in a support system for those who have cancer, but also for siblings.
Yes.
And during this time, a sibling it's a really difficult time for them, because their lives are so hugely impacted. How do you help them, or what, even through your work with Purple House, would you advise to somebody listening who has a child perhaps that has cancer, and then other children who are obviously impacted by that?
Yeah, I suppose when that happens, a lot of the focus is on the individual that has the cancer and not the rest of the family. So I would say, you know, cancer affects the whole family. Whether you have it, your sister has it, it's your child, whoever has it, it actually impacts the entire family. And it's really important for you to look after yourself. So I would say make sure that if you're trying to support someone going through this, that you're actually looking after yourself as well, that you're talking to someone if you need to, you're just taking time, because a lot of the focus can be on that individual that's actually going through it themselves. We have a wonderful children's service coordinator down in Purple House, Teresa. She looks after kids as young as 3 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah. That, you know, have gone through it themselves, have been bereaved by a parent, or might have a sibling going through it. So sometimes you don't actually really realise the real impact it can have on the kids at such a young age. She does lovely work with them now, really nice stuff. She brings them in and they have you know, art therapy.
Yeah.
Where they'll be drawing or painting, and through that she can talk to them.
And art therapy, I know when my kids find art therapy really, really useful. And just, I suppose each kid is different, but it was the best way for him, I guess, to talk about his grief and get it out.
Yeah. And, you know, that might not work for all kids, but, you know, we have different programs down there. We would just say, come in, have a chat, see if it's for you. You know, even just to talk to someone that might be going through something similar, it might not make them feel that they're so alone. Because I remember when Dad passed and I was 25, my friends didn't know what to say to me.
No.
They were like...
But that is the thing.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you know, most people have a less experience of that. Like, as you get older, obviously, you know, as life goes on, unfortunately, you get more experience. But when you're younger,
Yeah.
you know, it's you're sort of in a different club
Yeah.
than your pals.
And I just wanted to be accepted and liked.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't
Yeah.
treat me any different. You know, I'm still fun Louise.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
And
okay.
you're not that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's where I think some of the I was suppressing everything, and I was like, I'm fine. And it was only a year after Dad passed. I remember I was at dinner with my boyfriend, a lovely restaurant, and I just burst out crying. And he was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I was just like, he's not here. He's never going to be here again for my birthday. And that took a full year for that to kind of come out. But it does catch up with you.
It does catch up. I mean, it is that thing. You just, at some point, you can try whatever way around it. But eventually, you have to go through it.
Yeah.
So you started what is now a huge fundraiser for Purple House. The 3 Peak Challenge.
Yeah.
Which sounds like just like you horrendous in a way. But it's accessible.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
So tell us about it
really.
and tell me how you started that and got from there to now working actually in Purple House itself.
So it was shortly after we had lost Debbie, and I remember just sitting at home with Mom, and I was like, I just want to do something in their honour, in their memory. Like, I want to do something positive together as a family. You know, we always used to like going walking together. We live in Beirne. Like, look at all around us. It's so beautiful. So I tried to map I would say an achievable trail, but yet it would still be a bit challenging. And we started off and I was like, okay, big Sugarloaf, we could do that. And then we descend and then we climb up Little Sugarloaf.
Okay.
And descend, and then we go up the Victoria Way and we climb up over Bray Head and we end at Bray Beach. And it's a beautiful walk, like stunning views of the coast, the mountains. You can see all around. It's gorgeous. It's about 20 kilometres. Takes 4 to 5 hours maybe. You could probably do it much quicker if you want to, but it's not really a race. It's more of a walk in remembrance of that person.
And a reflective time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do it with other people, or you can actually just take a break on your own as well.
Yeah.
And like, so you said that was your idea.
Yeah.
And then it came to fruition.
Yeah. So we started it as a family. This will be its 4th year. So we started it as a family, just did it together. You know, we let Purple House know we're fundraising for you. This is just something that we want to do ourselves. And then spoke with Conor O'Leary and he said, I think this is a really nice idea and I think a lot of people would really like to do this with you. So he said, how do you feel about opening it up to the public and, you know, letting others join? I said, yeah, no problem. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So that's how it became
what it is.
And the first year, how many people did it?
First year we had 80 people do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much did you raise?
Almost 30,000. Yeah, just 29 something, so nearly 30,000 euro.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this year?
This year we're doing it August 23rd.
Yeah.
And we're hoping to have as many people join us as possible. It's Saturday morning. We'll start off from Purple House. We have buses bringing people up to Little Sugarloaf, drop you off, and we start the walk together.
Wow.
And yeah.
How many, how many people are you expecting? I just think it's like something that
I'd
will grow and grow.
I'd love to see 100 people.
Wow.
I'd love to see 100 people. And it's gotten to be much bigger than I thought it ever would be. So last year, I remember there was a woman, I think her name's Sharon. I don't think she'll mind me saying this because she reached out to us after the walk and she spoke to me at the end and she said, I was going through treatment last year and I was watching you all do this walk and I said, I'm going to do that walk with them next year. And she did the whole thing by herself and she just said that got me through my treatment. I was like, I'm going to do that. So for me, I was like, oh wow, this is, much bigger than, just our family. This is other people as well going through their own journey. And whether that's they're walking in remembrance of someone that they've lost, or in honor of someone going through treatment, or for themselves as well. It was a big moment. So it's a lovely day out now. We've been blessed with the weather every year, but it is Ireland, so it could rain.
But it gets a bit hot when you're climbing a mountain. So it's okay to have a little bit of rain. How can people get involved?
So if they go to purplehouse.ie/3 peaks, they can register there, and they can register as an individual. They can register as a team. They can decide. We've had some people just do one, and that was enough for them. Or some people do it in a relay, like one person will do Big Sugarloaf, second will do Little Sugarloaf, and then they'll end it together in Braehead. So don't feel like you have to do the 3 together, but that's kind of the challenge that we set out. And it's really, you do it at your own pace, it's your own journey, and it's a wonderful day, and we're raising funds for a very important service.
Yeah. And is there anything particularly in Purple House that goes towards, like, is there something you feel completely passionate about specifically?
So last year, all the funding went to Children's Services, and we've really seen that service grow over the last year. We've been able to hire another person as well to help with the team. So it just gives us more resources there to service what's actually happening. We've seen cancer rates increase, but we've also seen survivor rates increase, which is amazing. It just means a lot more people are living with the kind of symptoms, and they're living with it. But, it's something that we really want to be able to support everyone on and service as many people as we can.
Louise, it's amazing. Didn't know a lot about Purple House. I'd heard of it, obviously, but I just think for anybody that's gone through a cancer journey and they know it's so much, well, obviously it's about the person that's ill, and that's the primary focus, but there's so many little parts to that whole journey that support is needed for, and assistance. So it's amazing what you guys are doing. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Grief Pod with Venetia Quick. You can listen on SoundCloud or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have an online community on Facebook, The Grief Pod, or on Instagram @GriefPod Series.